Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. As you can see, we're about to get on 70th, but we took a turn onto Alvarado here because there was a bunch of construction going on and the construction seemed to be blocking the bike lane up ahead. So I decided at the last minute to take this little dip down Alvarado, and right now there's a bit of room, but as you can see, that giant SUV driver wanted to get past. There was plenty of room. They didn't have to trail me like that, but it's okay. There's plenty of room until right now when parking starts up right next to the parking lot that exists for these stores in here. And we have parking on the other side of the street, even though all of those residential areas have parking. So there's a reason I don't ride on this road much, and that's it. Although a bike lane starts up right about here, which is fine at the trolley station. At least between the trolley station and San Diego State, there is some paint for us to be biking in. But I figured while I was over here, I would take the advice. I think that it's Molly who chimes in the comments quite a bit in here and has been recommending that I take the parking lot rather than staying on Alvarado, because if I would have gone a few more feet, the bike lane does go away just as the hill becomes a really steep incline, and it's unpleasant. So they've suggested that I cut through this parking lot a few times, so I thought I would give it a shot and show you what it's like. And not for nothing, it ain't bad. I'm not on an e-bike on this ride. I'm riding my beater light touring bike, which the gearing is actually fantastic on. I think it's a 5439 or 5442 in the front, and then the back has an 11-speed cassette. It's 5034, I think. Yeah, it's 5034 in the front, and then 11 to 36 in the back. So I can kind of crush hills on this bike, but this parking lot ain't so bad to go through. I don't love having to clock like every car in a parking spot, but it does beat being on the road where people are kind of in a hurry to get over to the freeway or something like that. And as you can see, this is a pretty light area. I must be between classes right now, or rather during class session, so not too many students are trying to get anywhere. This stretch stressed me out a little bit. I was just thinking, like, with all those plastic flex posts off to the side, if a driver came up behind me, there's really no place to go. And I did think about weaving through the parking garage a bit, but once again, just battling drivers who might be backing out of spaces. Luckily, nobody is behind me. Like, luckily this is lightly used right now, so this is not a bad option. I mean, like I said, I don't like being on Alvarado without the bike lane there, so yeah, I don't know how often I'd use this, but occasionally, like when there's construction going on 70th and I just don't feel like taking that slog of a hill up, this is a cool option to know about. Also, on this particular day, I do plan on stopping at the market that is on SDSU's campus, so this kind of works out. And it's pretty peaceful. Like, I feel like we're tucked away, even though it's a gigantic parking lot of multi-tiers. But I thought for a second I would dip over the bridge, but I mistook. I'm looking at a bridge that's off to the right, so I'm just gonna dip around through here, and when I get over there, I realize that it's a bridge to a building and not the bridge that I want to take that dumps out right by the transit center. So I just loop around that little parking lot a bit, get back on the road I was on, because you're kind of locked in there, and continue on. It's good to have options, and I appreciate the suggestion to take this one. It's important to know where we can go, because even though it's easy enough to ride a bicycle just about anywhere, some places are just more hostily designed than others, and we also have to think about elevation. I think one of the unique things about biking in San Diego is the fact that we have elevation. We have valleys, and we have hills, and we have a lot of changes very fast. I used to it was a joke. I grew up in New York, and it was a joke like, I used to walk in the snow uphill both ways. And it sounded silly at the time, like uphill both ways. How would that happen? Turns out it's very easy to go uphill both ways when there's a valley in between your home and your destination. And that's the condition I live in now. Um, every day. I go through Mission Valley every single day. But even if I didn't, just going between where I live in Mid City and San Diego State, you are going down a hill and then coming back up. So I'm taking two valleys. I'm going uphill in both directions twice every day on my commute. And it's good to know what your options are. It's good to know, just what's available if you need to deviate, or if you want to deviate, just get a change of scenery. And that parking lot, as you could see, let out in a student residential area, and now it lets out between a 7-Eleven and some other businesses. And we cross the street and get onto San Diego State's campus, where we could do a little bit of shopping. So thanks for the option. I was glad to show it to you. It was not a bad climb, and I'm going to get myself some dinner for me and my family, and then we are going to drive less and ride a bike. Thanks.